Hi guys, welcome to my channel Lush Gardener. I hope you guys are fine and are safe. So I wanted to show you some of my Crassula Ovata, commonly known as the jade plant, because a lot of people have been telling me that they have difficulties in growing this plant, especially now during the summers. Now remember guys, this plant is now in the dormant stage because it's summers. Crassulas tend to go dormant during the summer season. Now the most common thing that I have seen a lot of people complaining is that their leaves, the jade plant is dropping the leaves. A lot of people have said that the jade plant is getting burned. Now obviously guys, during summers you cannot keep this succulent out in direct sunlight, even for that matter morning direct sunlight. I would suggest, if you are from a place wherein the temperatures are very high, then move this plant indoor in an indirect bright light. Do not expose it to direct sunlight. And a lot of people, what I have noticed is they have said that they have used vermicompost for their jade, and a lot of people have used a high amount of vermicompost. Now because of the high content of vermicompost, definitely your jade plant is going to get affected, because this plant is in its dormant stage, and the amount of vermicompost that you've used for your plants is going to affect your jade plant. Now I have never used any solid fertilizers in my succulents. Even for my Crassula Ovata, I haven't used any vermicompost, no bone meal, no neem cake, nothing. It is only in aquarium sand and regular garden soil, and you can see my plant is doing quite well. But because of too much of heat and because of too much of fertilizers in the soil is getting heated up, and that is causing harm to your Crassula Ovata. Now because of that reason, a lot of people are having issues because of excess nutrients in the soil. The plant cannot absorb that nutrients because it's in its dormant stage, and that is the reason why a lot of people are having or struggling with their jade plant. And you can see my jade plant is doing extremely well because there is no nutrients in the soil. If I have to add anything, I only use rainwater, and at times I use a little bit of pond water during their growing season. But during the dormant season, I do not add anything apart from just adding water when the soil tends to dry. You can see my soil is completely bone dry, and I have to do a complete watering until the water starts passing through the drain hole. That is the only thing that I do during the dormancy period, but I do not add any kind of fertilizer. So probably the combination of warm temperature, dormancy, and too much of nutrients in the soil is causing harm to your jade plant. So that is all what I can say. Probably now the best thing what you can do is, if you feel that if you have added too much of nutrients in the soil, probably you can take out a little bit of soil and add new soil which does not have a lot of nutrients in it. But yes, if you have already added a lot of nutrients, then that is definitely gonna affect your jade plant. You can see my jade plant is doing extremely well. I do not add any solid fertilizers, especially during the dormancy. I do not add any fertilizers because I let the plant rest. And once when it gets into its growing period, which is the winter period, I either use a little bit of pond water, or during the rainy season I tend to use rainwater to water my jade plant. Apart from that, I do not use any additional fertilizers to fertilize my jade plant. And you can see all of them are doing extremely well. They all are getting indirect bright light at this point of time because it's very warm. This one gets a little bit of morning direct sunlight, but there is no added nutrients in the soil. So I will quickly go ahead and water my jade plant, and I'm going to show you how quickly the water starts passing through the drain hole. So now I'll quickly do the watering. As you know that this is my DIY bottle that I tend to use for watering. Without splashing any water on the leaves. I know some people tend to drop water on the leaves. They water the plant completely. I don't do that. I just water the soil, and that's about it. This plant required water from a very long time. I haven't watered it from a very long time. So this is the time that I'm going to be watering. Now even dormant succulents do need water. That doesn't mean that just because they're dormant you're going to just leave them as it is. They also tend to need water, because if you're not going to water them, then the roots will dry. So you have to water, but again, not too much. So guys, I ran out of battery on my other phone, so I'll be shooting from this phone, and you can see the water has started to leave the pot, and we are done with watering. The water has drained out of the pot. We are done with the complete watering. So when I say complete watering, it means that you water until the water starts passing through the drain hole. Now this is all about it. Ensure that you do not disturb the plant a lot because it's in its dormant stage right now. A lot of times the jade plant might drop the leaves depending upon how your environment is, especially if your environment is very warm, very hot, then there are high chances that the dormant succulent might drop off the leaves. So try to keep it in a place which is slightly cooler compared to the outside environment. If it's very warm, you'll have to move it indoor. Keep it in a place where it gets a good amount of indirect bright light. If you do not have good access to light, then you'll have to use a good quality of grow light and then grow them, because as we have already spoken about this earlier as well, when succulents are grown indoor, they do not get affected with dormancy. So you can try that option. If you have a setup, you can use a good quality of grow light and grow your jade plants indoor. So guys, that's all about it. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe and keep propagating.